So we're going to look at how do we migrate data from gINT to OpenGround.Cloud for any data that's in RAPID CPT. And there's several really important points that must be considered before migrating the data. So the first is you must be on the latest version of RAPID CPT. You can check that by going to your RAPID CPT version info. And you should be on version 4.5.25 or if not, you should download the update from Data Forensics website. Second thing to check is there a bottom depth field, the CPT data table? If there is not, you need to add that field. So we're just going to add that field right here. Bottom space depth should be a double type. We don't really care about the units because we know it's going to be in feet anyway. And once we've done that, we can then recalculate the current table. And what that will do is OpenGround requires that we have a depth and a bottom depth in order to report this data. So you see 0.211 is the same as the next record right there. Okay, so that just happens automatically, assuming you're on the latest version. The third thing to consider is that your units in RAPID CPT for your depth and your FSQC and U2 must be the same as your units in OpenGround. If they are not, you're going to have incorrect values reported in OpenGround. So that applies for this table. So if your units are not the same, you can go to your project table and you can show or hide fields, and we can unhide the CPT stress units and CPT density units. We could then actually change these units if they needed to be in something else. You could change them to any of the valid units that RAPID CPT supports, PSI, PSF, whatever it is you have in OpenGround. If you did have to change your units, you would need to come back to this table and do a recalculate of the current table. So that's check number 3. And lastly, you need to ensure that your pore pressure dissipation units are also in the same units as OpenGround has. So in my scenario, right here, I have my pore pressure shown in feet of water, and in OpenGround, it's in TSF. So I need to make sure that I update my pore pressure dissipation units. So if you don't have this menu option, you do need to sure you get the latest library from RAPID CPT. That menu option should be there. Update your pore pressure dissipation units. You can then change to whatever you need it to be. In my case, I want it to be TSF. And what that will do is when we come back, 2.21. There we go. We are now back in TSF instead of the 70 feet of water. So those are all the things you need to do prior to migrating the data to OpenGround. So I've opened my OpenGround project that has all the RAPID CPT capabilities in it. And I go to my gINT import. I choose my RAPID CPT mapping, and I go choose that gINT project we were just working with. So there we go. There's our RAPID CPT OpenGround. So it's uploading all of our process data. So keep in mind that all the calculations, all the analysis, all the visualization, we were happy with in gINT prior to uploading this data to OpenGround. Once we are ready to upload it, we go through this process, and then all of our CPT data is now combined with our data, our lab testing data, our in-situ testing data, etc. So these are a couple of just bogus warnings. We don't have to worry about them. It's actually telling us that the pore pressure is not going to be imported when it actually is. Some bogus error message Bentley needs to eliminate. There we have all of our tables that we're importing data for, and let's go ahead and proceed through the wizard. There we have all of these records, 3 CT soundings, 2 dissipation tests, 870 depth-based records, and over 10,000 dissipation records, same as what we had when we imported the data into gINT. Just about finished. So now all of our data is in OpenGround. So if we expand our in-situ tests, we'll see that we have our 3 CPT soundings here. We will see our CPT data that is here with that depth base. We will see the 2 pore pressure dissipation tests, and we will see our shoulder pore water pressure, 10,000 or so dissipation records with the shoulder pore water pressure. So now you see all your data has been taken from gINT to OpenGround, and you can use it in OpenGround to report it on logs, on sections, in CAD, wherever you need to use it.